Hi, my name is Alan. I'm a registered nurse working right now in a cardiology unit. I wanted to learn more about my unit specialty, which is congenital heart disease in newborn and pediatric population. So I'm going to review my cardiovascular system and study the different defects and I just want to record myself so that I can go back and listen to it, watch myself, and understand the disease process even more. Um, I like drawing and writing it in a whiteboard. That's how I studied back in nursing school. And I don't know if some of y'all remember that I posted my some study, help study. What am I thinking? Some videos to help you guys study. I'm sorry, it's like 6 in the morning. I haven't slept. Um, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna study. I cannot guarantee that I am 100% right on everything that I say, but I am basing myself on this book that I just bought. And just feel free to correct me if y'all know something. I would really appreciate if you add some things on this. I know there's far more experienced nurses out there that I would welcome all your knowledge. I mean, it's more experience. Okay, so let's begin. I don't know if you can see this. This is my drawing of the heart. Oh, I can't zoom in. Anyway, sorry guys. Alright, so I drew it as well as I can, I guess. I'm very bad at drawing, so. Alright, so let's review the normal circulation of the heart. So we are just going to normal circulation. So our blood, I'm going to use, I don't have many colored markers. I'm just going to use my green one, I guess. So from the body, this is our person, stickman. The blood is used up by all the capillaries, all the organs, and all that. So it's desaturated blood. Desaturated blood goes on two parts to the heart, approaches the heart from the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava, and those two empty out to the right atrium. From the right atrium, we have our, this is also from the right atrium. I didn't write it here because it's hard to draw. That it's not just from the inferior and the superior vena cava that we get desaturated blood. Another one is from the coronary sinus, which is the deoxygenated blood that the coronary arteries used up, like from the coronary arteries to the coronary veins, back to the coronary sinus, which is now desaturated, goes to the right atrium. From the right atrium, we then go down past our tricuspid valve. I always think of it as tricuspid because I still get confused even until now. Tricuspid, the RI, tri is in the right. And then the other side, which is our mitral, which is the left. That's how I remember it. Okay, we passed our tricuspid valve and the blood, desaturated blood, goes into the right ventricle. So this right ventricle pumps, like during systole, compresses and pumps up to the pulmonary arteries. But before it goes up to the pulmonary arteries, we I forgot to mention this right ventricle here. I just learned this. I don't know if I just forgot. This right ventricle is actually rough on the inside. It's what they call, I don't know if I can put it, trabeculated. It's a trabeculated pumping chamber. It becomes smoother, like right here on the top, as it approaches the pulmonary valve. So the pulmonary valve is a trileaflet semilunar valve that sits on this part of the heart, anterior and to the left of the tricuspid valve. So blood goes past our pulmonic valve to our pulmonary arteries. From our pulmonary arteries, it branches out to the left and to the right, going to the lungs, which is pulmonary. Becomes pulmonary. After it goes to the lungs, this is my drawing of the lungs. Let's see. Okay, so 3 lobes on the right, 2 lobes on the left. After it goes to the lungs, it becomes oxygenated. The lungs does whatever it does, and now we get saturated blood. I wish I had a red marker. Anyway, saturated blood travels back to the heart through the pulmonary veins, right? So the pulmonary veins returns oxygenated blood, and we have I can't draw it from, this is all messed up. This is our left atrium. I don't know if you can see that, like right behind the aorta and the pulmonary artery. That's the LA, which is our left atrium. Anyway, I zoomed it up. This is the right atrium, left atrium. These are the pulmonary valves. I don't know if this is, okay, there it is. Pulmonary valve empties oxygenated blood. So this is now our red blood, which is high in oxygen level. From the left atrium, it empties down to the left ventricle. But before it goes to the left ventricle, it passes another valve, which is our left valve, mitral valve, also known as the atrioventricular valve, left atrioventricular valve. Now, from the left ventricle, we pump. You know that the left side is the bigger one, like the stronger muscle of the heart, because it is supposed to pump the blood all the way throughout the entire body. And so from here, we go up, and this part here where it enters the aorta is our aortic valve. Right. So the aorta, it's going past the aortic valve now. Once it goes past, it goes to the aorta. From the aorta, it then travels all the way to our right subclavian, left subclavian, to our head, and then the rest of them goes down to our body. Like this is lower down our body, it becomes ephemeral and whatnot, and then it branches out. But this is our body circulation now of oxygenated blood. Also, I remember this from nursing school. I like how my professor explained it. When we pump, the blood shoots out. That's the preload shoots out. And then there's an afterload, like during the resting, like the brief rest that the ventricles has, the blood that shoots up also goes back down with a lower pressure. You know what I mean? It pumps out with great pressure, like somebody's shooting, and then after that it goes back down just with a little pressure. And that little pressure is enough to fill our coronary arteries, which is located at the bottom part of our aortic valve, of our aorta. Like if this is the aorta, this is where it branches down. Like there's the entrance to the coronary arteries, which then supplies oxygen to the heart. So pumps out, we get a little bit of afterload, and that afterload is enough to shoot that blood to the coronary arteries. One interesting, we'll go over this, I'll try to study this sometime this week, is some defects in kids are Another one of the defects in kids is what they call like anomalous left coronary artery from the pulmonary valve. No, pulmonary artery. So I just encountered this one before. It's called Al Kappa. Anomalous left coronary artery from the pulmonary artery. So we all know that, like I said, the coronary artery, which is this entrance here, comes from the aorta. In here, the anomalous left coronary artery, anomalous is like, it's not supposed to be there. So instead of it coming from the aorta, it comes from the pulmonary artery, left coronary artery. So if this is the heart, we got our right coronary arteries, and then our left coronary arteries right here. This is a terrible drawing, so bear with me, guys. Both of them should be from the aorta, but in this Al Kappa, which is a congenital defect, it's not coming from the aorta, but it's coming from the pulmonary artery right here, which goes to the lungs. And like we discussed earlier, pulmonary arteries comes from the blood in the pulmonary arteries is from the right ventricle, which is our desaturated blood. It means it doesn't have enough oxygen. So what happens is this side of the heart gets oxygen, this side of the heart doesn't get enough oxygen. It gets desaturated blood. So, well, I'm not quite sure what the whole deal is with this, but this is what the definition is from what I remember when I googled it before. So this may cause myocardial ischemia because of the desaturation of the blood. So that is it for today. I hope you understood what I just said, like discussed. My board is a mess. I wish I have more markers to show y'all, but that is the normal circulation of our circulatory system.